On again with a chili chill and friends. I am Chili. I chill, and everybody else is my friends. Right now, I've got as my friend an a laptop sitting across of me, and I get to hear what I say about a second after I say it. So that's my companion, and it's not a very good companion. So I'll just ignore the it's hard to ignore the laptop because it's like an echo. It's always echoing, and it kind of bothers me. I'll just close it and hope it won't echo. Hello? Ah, it doesn't echo. All right. So today is uh, a 12th of 12th year in the fifth, no, in the sixth month. I got here from picking up my grandpa from Parawanami. Uh, he's a he's a gambler. Once, twice a month, he goes to Parawanami and spends his $40. Usually, he loses. Every time he goes back, I ask, "Oh, what did you win?" He says, "Like, no, I didn't win nothing today." I'm like, "Okay, well, next time you'll win something, right?" Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. And then the next time comes, and I ask him, "What did you win?" Yeah. Hi. I think I'm gonna have a guest. Please have a seat, or you wanna sit up here? You can be seen. Yeah, if you sit up here, you can be seen. Yeah, yeah. Welcome.
Welcome.
Um, my show is called Chili Chill and Friends. I usually sit up here and I talk about my life, my thoughts. And I don't think much, but I just
It
I, don't know,
just
I talk.
flows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And people come and they say, "Oh, cool. You wanna be my friend? Come to
Well,
my show, talk about something."
oh yeah, you're reading the great epic war of the Buddhists, huh?
Yeah, this
The
is in the
Bhagavad
Buddha.
Gita.
This is Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, I read it because I got a lot of time,
Yeah.
and so I read it and I read a verse or two, and then
Sweet.
I talk about it. It wastes time and it's educational. Makes me think. Makes maybe people hear and understand something that usually is not talked about in the everyday world.
Yeah. It's like it's pretty nice dense poetry.
Yeah, it's about how not to get attached. Actually, not it's not about how to not to get attached. It's like every second line is like don't be attached to result, and that's all.
Yeah.
It says it from different points of from different angles.
Yeah. I just watched an interview by Bergman when he was talking about
Tim Burton.
Ingmar Bergman, the filmmaker. Not Tim Burton, but he's talking about like people having expectations and stuff like that, and how this one great craftsman was assigned to by a Buddhist order to do this temple and do the harness, the mechanism that holds the bell for the chapel
Mm-hmm.
or for their temple, and how when he thought about all the honor and fame and everything that he would get for doing this, it just ruined the piece and he couldn't finish it. And then he thought about all the love and adoration he would get, he just muddled it up. And, and how in crafting this great thing and stuff, how he would become immortal and stuff. And he just muddled it again. But when he finally thought about just creating the harness for the bell, it worked.
Right.
It worked.
Uh-huh. Well, that's how it usually is when we have certain expectations. Uh, it become everything that we do becomes so much harder to do.
Yeah.
Like when you got your boss watching over your shoulder,
Yeah.
checking on you,
You'll
like you start sweating. You're like, why is the man looking at me, man? It's like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong?
and you've done it a million times before, but
Mhm.
now there's a imposition. Yeah.
But some people, uh, they practice um, not being moved by outside phenomena.
Mhm.
Like my Tai Chi teacher, he teaches. It doesn't matter what happens. He'll still be teaching.
Yeah.
But he's also observant of what's going on. So he sees something in the corner of an eye, and so he'll teach. He'll finish the teaching, and while everybody is like, okay, now hold the posture. And when everybody is holding the posture, it's like being a little painful. He goes up and talks to the person who comes in or something. But
Mhm.
uh,
You can balance that, and there's a certain amount of stillness there and control. 'Cause, like I think in like Tai Chi, like the art of movement and like stillness is, I think, kind of what it is.
yeah, I see
That's-
you got a yin yang sign.
Oh yeah, yeah. And duality.
Non-duality too. See, a lot
Yeah.
of people they see the yin and see the yang, but there's a circle that's around them that's
Mhm.
a lot of people talk about or know even about.
Mhm.
And I think it's called Wu Wei.
This is like the image itself. There's like the image itself is something. It's in the absence of that. I think that's like duality. This is like having the concept and the non-concept in a certain in a way, like being awake, alive, and dead.
Yeah.
The cycle. And that's the ring on the outside is almost just that in itself. I think in a matter of perspective, it could almost turn into a spiral, or it's like if you were to look down at like the DNA and they cut it, that's almost would be like like a sectional of like the DNA strand, if it were to twist and bend and have more of a 3 dimension.
Well, yeah, because I think everything moves in a circle in a way, like it's like circular,
Mhm.
but like time moves forward, so because it's circular and it's 3 dimensional or 4 dimensional,
Mhm.
it's like a spiral. Yeah, you're right. I totally agree with you. People
There's like
should.
waves, yeah.
What is the sound? That's the shakuhachi. No, hakusachi. Sakuhachi. Have you heard this before?
No.
It's a Japanese flute. It's big. It's fat. It's maybe like uh,
Mhm.
6 inches in diameter, and it makes this really intense, soul-piercing sounds. Woo, oh, yeah. Yeah, Japanese movies they have them sometimes.
It's like pretty suspenseful.
Yeah, it's very it's different. Let's just put it like that. So what is your name?
Oh, Matthew.
Matthew?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Chili.
Chili.
Yeah.
Yeah. Greetings, man.
Greetings.
Well, it's a beautiful day in River West.
It's always beautiful. Did you go to the Locust Street days?
No, I was working that night.
What about that day?
No, work. I'm a busy man. I stay pretty. We got a
What do you
pretty
work?
hectic schedule. I work all over the city. I do screen printing. I'm a line cook. I do dishwashing. I do promotion and like ushering and ticket taking for some theaters. Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I'm pretty busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what keeps me going.
So you do screen printing.
Yeah. I do a lot of image work.
I got some interesting designs. I don't know. I'd like to make a few T-shirts for those.
Yeah, there's always a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, leave me your email and maybe I'll contact you. I'll send you some of those images
Yeah, that's good.
because they're pretty like powerful. I got this thing. Uh, you know the Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Uh, it's like I was thinking about jihad and all that stuff. When especially the war with Iraq and
Yeah.
how the Sunnis were killing the Shiites and Shiites were killing Sunnis, and it was like
Mm-hmm.
total madness. So I got this image, right? In Saudi Arabia, they got a big black rock. I forgot the name of it, but it's this big rock. It's a cube.
Oh,
It's black, and
at the yeah, that they all worship and
yeah, they all
say
worship it.
praise to.
But the funny thing
Uh,
is that it's not really. It's like the original cube, if there ever was one.
yeah,
It's not there anymore.
yeah,
It's just like painted.
yeah. It's just like
But
a
it is
fake
a,
idol, yeah.
yeah, it's like something.
No.
So people go up there, and Malcolm X was actually talking about this.
Yeah,
He
it's in
says
it's
like
in Mecca,
people,
right?
yeah, Mecca.
It's at the
People
center of
kill
Mecca.
each other, just stomping each other over. So I've got this thing, right? I got a picture of this of this cube, right?
Yeah.
And around it, all the people are walking, worshiping, and on it stands a man with a blank face. Okay, thanks. And there's all kinds of like burnt out and death arms just reaching out at it. And the sky is painted in body parts and blood and eyes and just death. It's called jihad,
Yeah.
because this is like this is war. I don't know. It's like what do you think about the war? Because this is a book, right,
Well,
about war.
there'll always be conflict. I mean, that's I don't know. It's just like a force of nature, you know. I don't know. It's like there's like going back to like that stillness. I think there was a certain degree of inner peace, but I think like even like the body is at conflict with our environments, or our mind perceives it to be that way for the most part due to like the process. We're not familiar with it, and like we try to begin like developing like a rationale and a kind of like architecture for like the world that we live in. But I think in a lot of ways it's like um we'll lose track of that. It's like the way objects can like move around a room and stuff like that. It's like some people will shift our philosophies and stuff like that. So it's like even the world that we set up for ourselves
Mhm.
and like you know, can still be shaken and changed. I don't think like I don't know. I think there's a lot of zealous nature behind like these wars, especially the religious ones. And I don't think I think there's like should be more of a kind of like a global union, or it's just like
New
you know
World Order
when
thing, yeah.
when everything's like I don't know how to put it. It's like I mean, how do I feel about like like the Sunni and the Shiites and the Palestinians and all that? It's like here in America, it's something that I'm so detached from. You have money going into these wars, and like ancient traditions, like heritage and stuff like that, like just all of that going into it on their end, like why they're battling it and all that.
Yeah.
And then there's
Yeah.
a very modern conflict of like just you have 13-year-old kids running around with assault rifles, things like that, but this is like there's conflict at home, I like to be more personal when I like try to perceive these things. It's hard enough to like constantly have like a global mind,
Look
let
at
alone
like
like a
what kind of
local
conflict we
mind.
got here. We got Tom Barrett, right? We got this Governor Walker who is not liked by a lot of people, and apparently 800,000 people signed the petition,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was about 450,000 people voted, which was not enough.
Hmm.
So
And even with like the extreme of everyone in Madison and
were you
all.
there? Did you see that?
No, I've just seen it through the media and stuff like that, and
Oh, I
I
went
knew
there.
people. I
It
knew
was
people that
wow.
went there.
Yeah, it was such a beautiful sight, seeing a lot of people come together.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I realized that they just came together and didn't achieve anything, I was like, that's kind of a sad sight.
Oh yeah,
I thought.
yeah, totally.
I thought those. I don't know, I'm confused now. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, I mean, people can't. The thing is like I feel like a lot of people feel like they're defeated, or that like Barrett was defeated, or that unions have been defeated. But it's like, like Walker stands. Do you still stand in like your theories and your ideas on how things should be run and governed? Keep pressing those ideas and interests. Just because like, when like just because you didn't win this race, so to say, doesn't mean you couldn't win the next one. Or, the things
Yeah.
could, through work and training and perseverance, you could actually like stay together. I think there's a huge extremism to what just took place here in Wisconsin, but it's very radical and historic, But
Back in the days,
at the same
there
time,
was like a lot to fight for.
hmm
But I think right now, what people are fighting for is is really minimalized compared to what it was before.
yeah, to a to a degree. Um, I mean, like we use Vietnam for an example. You have people being drafted and stuff. People being taken from homes,
Yeah,
family
they get
members
drafted
being like
nowadays
pulled from
too.
homes. Yeah. Um,
How old are you?
but this isn't.
Are you 30 yet?
No.
Oh, you might get drafted then. You
Yeah.
never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still like there's a huge. It's all like the perspective has completely changed. People aren't being like pulled from homes and stuff. You know. Um,
Yeah, there's very low segregation or whatever. It's out there. So Milwaukee,
it's just there's a.
Mhm.
No, I don't know.
Milwaukee is one of the most segregated cities in the country. It's so racially differentiated, and the people, once you cross the borderline, the schools they don't teach. So people cannot, but people don't want to learn either.
Yeah, people have to be willing. It's like seek and you will find. Like, I don't. I mean, yeah, an environment has to be nurturing, but at the same time, people have to have an inner drive or some kind of. They gotta want to know, whatever,
People don't wanna know.
whatever, or like
I don't know
have.
what happened. I don't know what's going on, but look at this. Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
I closed my account yesterday, but before I was closed my account, I was talking to this. He's like a video guy for the rapper community or something of Milwaukee. His name is Mr. Wilson. So he's my Facebook buddy,
Mm-hmm.
and I posted this slogan. It said that instead of spending your energy trying to change other people, why not take this energy and instead of trying to change other people, change yourself for the better.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that, oh, that's like weak, man. And I'm like, yo, son, you gotta liberate your mind. Only you can set your mind free. And he was like, you know what? That's like so 60s, man. People are like not into that. So I looked at what people were into, because he making videos. People nowadays are into drugs and money and sex, like course. But back in the days, there
And
was
power.
and power. But back in the days, they were also into drugs and sex and and money. Except people were
Because
also into mind and unity and
Well, because
self
self-awareness now
awareness.
is like being in control of your environment. And there's only one way to be in control of your environment, and that's like to, you know, be able to finance resources and things like that. That's like, I think, just like the common thread of the way people are thinking, you know. So it's like,
It's
you
like
know, so money
I would
is
have to
that.
be like a little disagree. I wouldn't say you have to control your environment. I'll say that the best way to control your environment is to blend into your environment. You have to work with it instead of working against it.
Right, and that's a good luck charm that I think like a lot of people, or say like celebrities or something like that, would probably hold on to. But then there's also this whole like self caricature kind of like thing going on, where everyone's like kind of putting on an act or a show.
Oh yeah,
Or
yeah.
I
It's
mean,
like
in the art
mm.
or in like pop culture and mainstream media stuff like that. You know, it's like Lady Gaga, for example. You know, she's
She's
very much a
copying Madonna.
very much a
Madonna.
caricature.
Yeah, caricature of Madonna.
Yeah.
When Madonna came out, she was the real deal. When Lady Gaga came out, well, all the kids they love her. I'm sure.
Well, yeah, she's feeding to a certain need within like you know, like the youth community and stuff. Uh, like the
Yeah.
assertion of, you know, like you, whether or not you're gonna answer a call for someone who's like, you know, someone's calling who agitates you, you know, being able to like put down the phone, things like that, take time for yourself. It's like very self-empowering, like the whole Kill Bill pussy wagon thing and stuff like
No,
that.
what Pussy Wagon?
The vehicle that she drives in the video telephone. It's from Kill Bill by Quentin Tarantino,
Yeah.
and it's pretty much like a feminist film in a certain degree. It's like
Oh,
very
yeah,
empowering for
I've
women,
seen some of it.
you know. But it's like all of that is just driving on that whole notion, you know. It's all guided energy.
About Quentin Tarantino, I saw the other day again, um, Pulp Fiction, and I was thinking to myself, what a good movie. And all his other movies cannot even compare to that one. I mean, it was a really good movie. And other ones are kind of trashy. That's
Yeah.
what I think. What do you think about Quentin? You look like a movie person.
Well, he's uh Tarantino's very he's just so influenced by everything else.
I think he sold out.
That, well, I mean, sold out is like it's, or he bought. I didn't sell out. I bought in. There's a
You
difference.
bought him, yeah. That's what he says, huh?
Well, no, I'm just. I would imagine, but
Yeah.
it's I mean, he makes movies for people who like movies and they have like, you know, like know like more or less like movie and film history, or even like that want, you know, like wants to change something about history and the way things have been done. You know, he's like, it's just a catering service, you know.
Yeah.
He's got his, I think he's
Supply
under
demand
someone's
thing,
thumb.
huh? Supply demand thing. Have you seen Frankie Latina's Modus Operandi?
Yeah.
Oh, you like it?
Yeah.
I like it too, man.
Yeah, I like his film.
It was really a joy to watch that. I showed it to a buddy of mine. He says I can only take 1 hour of it. It's like 80 minutes is too much.
80 minutes.
Yes.
How long for the 3-hour film to come back? Or have intermission?
Oh yeah, like Godfather and
Something like
Ethics. Yeah, I love good movies. Long movies.
But
Like Dune.
Dune.
Yeah.
Dune puts me to sleep. That's such a quiet film. It's
Really?
so it's like 2001 Space Odyssey. It's too spaced out. It's too much space, too much time and
Star Wars
space.
put me to sleep.
Yeah,
But
I can watch
Dune
Star
kept me
Wars.
on the edge, man, of my seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, different strokes for different folks. Yeah, they've got Children of Dune now.
They're doing a film,
No,
or
they already done it for Sci-Fi Channel.
Nice.
Yeah, it's they did the Dune remake and the Children of Dune also. It's like the continuation of the story
Mm-hmm.
about the kids they growing up and it's because the Dune is like a long epic. There's I think like 10 books or something in it, if not 12, maybe more.
Mm-hmm.
Because the guy, got the worms, right? Eventually, one of the people turns into the worm and lives for 8,000 years. So it's also like what
Oh
happens
yeah.
as he is as a worm. And yeah, it's. So I heard Isaac Asimov died.
Oh really?
Yeah, the
Recently?
5th of June.
Uh, I didn't know that.
He started. He made a lot of new waves in the science fiction.
Yeah, they he had what was like the 10 rules for AI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, I know Richard Kelly, the writer director of Donnie Darko, was a big fan of him. In his third film, um, The Box, they go over his like I think his 10 rules for artificial intelligence in the basement. Well, I think yeah, while the creatures lurking outside.
Yeah, so flies are waking up. Fly just landed on me, and I'm like,
That's the time.
it is that time. Fruit flies
It's
are
fall
gonna be
season. Yeah.
everywhere. Fruit flies and ladybugs. That's what our city is famous for. Hmm. So what else is new, man? Tell me something from your life. What's
Oh,
exciting going on in the city?
in the city.
Yeah,
I don't know. Um, City is really unique. I don't know. There's nothing. Not a day goes by that I'm like not glad that I'm here because it's such a active environment and people are so lively.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, where I grew up, it was about 30, 40 minutes drive to anything, and when you got there, there wasn't really anything there. You were
Hmm.
just
Where did you grow up at?
northwestern PA. So being in more of
PA
a
is like peninsula, no, that's not
yeah, there's
PA.
peninsula and stuff. Yeah.
PA is like where's it again?
Um,
Pennsylvania.
it's next to Ohio, on the right side,
Oh, okay.
facing the map.
Hmm. I,
But
I I wanna get me on a bike and just travel the United States, man. That's you know, yeah,
yeah,
that's what I wanna do.
I just like
'Cause I
I've been
haven't been
thinking
anywhere. Yeah.
like I dropped a friend of mine off at the train station today, and I was sitting there waiting, and I just like got that urge to travel. It's like, oh, I've got this time off, da 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 da. I should just take a train somewhere. Like even if it was just to Chicago. But I was like, I always think that there's so much more like in Milwaukee that I haven't discovered. If I were to just take a different turn, like go a different way, and like change my routine up, probably learn so much more about like my environment and stuff. And
Well,
in
it's like
origin.
you you go into an environment, you investigate a little bit, you get yourself a little place, you know what's it like to be in the environment,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's time for you to go. Otherwise, you just touch and go. It's like you don't get the essence of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like I've been up here for too long.
I heard there was a study done recently, um, I think in Europe, where it was talking about like amnesia, and it was studying the way like people handle and change the objects in a room, and it was like proven that people recognize doorway spaces and stuff like that. Um, they recognize those changes more than like the actual objects in within rooms and stuff like that.
Hmm.
That like if they're swapping the book and the keys and the coffee and moving it back and forth in
Right.
the room, and they remember the order or the time that they passed through a doorway space into another room, and
Uh
like
huh.
when that occurred rather than when like the more internal shifting occurred.
Hmm. That makes you think about stuff. Well, certain big events are always get stuck in people's minds through everything. Like big events, like when I was falling down, once I don't know, I was a little high and drunk. And there was like two floors,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a ladder leading up to it, and I saw the ladder here, but I mean the ladder was on my left, but I saw it in front of me, so I stepped on it, and there was nothing there. I kind of like flew downwards, face down. As I was flying, I saw like this metal pikes sticking outwards, and I was thinking to myself, well, oh, I'm gonna die. So I put my hands against my chest, so when I hit it, I hit my hands. But that moment, it was what, like 2 seconds, 1 second, 2 seconds long.
Yeah.
It was such a long moment, like my whole life flashed in front of me. I remember every single like detail from it, and I cannot get it out of my mind. It's like stuck there, you know. But everything would
The
happen
feeling
around.
or all the
No,
memories?
the whole like experience, man.
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
see it.
everything,
I
everything.
can just go back in my mind's eye and see what happened, and I can go through the whole motions. I remember the impact. I remember how I felt. I remember everything.
Yeah.
But what's around the, like usually you don't remember stuff. But
Yeah.
big things. Interesting thing I just thought of. When people are blind, or most of their life, right? They're blind, and then all of a sudden something happens and they start seeing things. They don't know what they're seeing. Like, we know objects. It's like this is this is that.
Yeah.
All they see is just a bunch of colors. It's like you see that car, you know that's a car. They would not know it's a car. That was just like it's like something gray, gray on gray. They would not get
Yeah.
the perception right away. It'll take them months to get the understanding. Yeah, mind is an interesting thing. That's my car right there. I like stickers. If you got a cool sticker, hook me up. I'll put it on. Somebody
It's
told
got
me.
character.
Hmm?
Oh, it's got character. It's like tattooed.
Yeah. Well, it masquerades all the rusties.
Yeah, yeah.
All the all the stuff that's not supposed to be there.
A new layer of enamel.
It's an old vehicle.
Shine on.
Yeah, I got 240,000 miles on it.
What
Stuff
do you
rides good.
What do you think of reincarnation? And have you seen the film Enter the Void by Gaspar Noé?
I think I've heard about it. It's about all those kids who it's about kids who kids who know how to play piano at the young age.
Oh no, it's not
no.
about savants. It's more of
Savants?
or like
What
not
did you
even
say?
like yeah no, it's not like about like savants or
What are
child
savants? Never heard
child
of
prodigies. They're people that like say they don't have like I think like one case would be someone who doesn't have any like social capabilities and probably couldn't really hardly speak or really struggles trying to get their ideas across, but at the same time I've seen like a like documentary footage of a savant that went up in a helicopter and flew around Rome for I think an hour and a half, and in 5 hours when they came back, it was like some time frame, but from start to finish, they illustrated in fine detail all the architecture of Rome and like almost like a 300, like a panoramic point of view in just 1 hour and a half, flight around. They could every detail of all the architecture, but this person doesn't have like they have a very difficult time actually holding conversations and stuff like that.
It's autism.
It's a form of autism, yeah.
It's autism. I met a few autistic kids. That was kind of scary and interesting at the same time.
I have a
To see
few,
them.
some brothers of mine are slightly autistic.
Yeah, some people. This is quite a like an epidemic in America of slight autisms. Like they're not vivid ones, like very slight ones. I think. I think there's like not like epidemic, but there's a lot of people.
Yeah,
I
it
think
seems fairly common. I think it's maybe a um,
I don't know. Maybe
it's
I don't
hard
know.
to, it's really hard to even get into it just because it's it's such a dynamic like ailment, you know. There's so many different like traits to it and
Yeah.
like almost like levels.
Oh,
But it's but it's
it
wild how it can like just shift perspective.
I think meditation can cure stuff like that. I honestly do. Because I remember myself before I was meditating, and my mind was completely like out there, loosened out, was like flying, you know, couldn't complete sentences, couldn't put 5 words together. It was harder for me.
Yeah.
And after I started meditating, um, 'cause meditation it does make some connections between neurotransmitters
Yeah.
that make things more orderly.
Yeah.
So, because in
You
some,
found your center in a way instead of being more dipsotic and
mm-hmm.
scattered.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's this what it's about. You spend some time alone.
Yeah.
You
You can
turn
feel
yourself
your
into
rhythms and your
it's
vibrations. Yeah.
it's like you're going through war. It's going through war with yourself, with your mind,
Yeah.
with your desire. Because before you sit, you
You
don't
don't.
want to
Yeah.
sit.
You don't want to.
Once you sit down, you still don't want to sit.
Yeah.
But then, eventually, there's a lot of joy in that. Yeah, a few years ago, I actually started liking it, but I still find it hard for me to go and pressure myself to go and sit.
Mm-hmm.
But once I sit, I'm like, oh, this is nice. Why don't I do it more often? You meditate ever? Have you?
I've been trying to get into it. I do more of like I take hot baths. Um,
Baths.
yeah, because I work a lot, and usually what I'll do at the end of the day is I'll fill a tub with hot water and take a hot bath.
Epsom salt?
And no, just some hot water, and I'll do writing or draw pictures. Um, it loosens the mind to a degree where it's mostly visual. Language breaks down, and it's you're just succumb to like just these like vivid, like almost dreamlike like mind shows, just like images will flash through your mind and you just
Oh,
be
so
thinking about stuff, and you'll be thinking about so much stuff and so wrapped up in it, it'd be hard to write it down. But my balance is to, you know, between the two, to be, to have that insight and that relaxed kind of state of mind, you know, and that calm, and to, because you're in, if you're in, you feel the vibration of the water and it holds you, and it, unifies you with your surroundings, so it's definitely like it centralizes me. And so I don't know, I've, it's like one way that I can slightly dream. It's like lucid dreaming in a way, you know, because you're
Yeah.
just so relaxed, and you have, to a certain degree, consciousness. You're not sleeping in water, you know.
Have you heard about sensory deprivation chamber?
Yeah, like the studies that they were doing in the like in theory, like in Altered States, the movie or the book, they do it, and I think they do it here in River West too.
They used to have one in a secret place, and a buddy of mine, they don't have it anymore.
Yeah,
But a buddy of mine, he said that once you spend 5 hours in it, and he said after a few hours, he totally, there was just his mind, his eye, and whatever he wished for, he saw, so he could like, I want to go to Japan and see Japan. He would be inside Japan, seeing Japan. Like he was right there, you know.
Yeah.
It was like completely lucid
And
dreaming thing.
that the way that the mind can conjure up things that are, you would imagine unknown. It's like you could, having that person ever been there or not, they still they might be conjuring up a whole new environment built off of what they would think it would look like. And that, to me, that's
True.
very interesting,
Tell you what, once when I was a kid, right? I didn't know nothing about it, man. But I had a dream
Mm-hmm.
that you talked about reincarnation, right?
Yeah.
I had a dream, man. I'm on a horse, right? I'm Japanese. I'm commanding Japanese army.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, you know, it's like I sort of knew what I was saying, but I didn't understand the language that I was talking to. I didn't
Yeah.
know exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
But I was like, you go right, you go left, and stuff like that. But I was in Japan, and then I was a kid. I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
So talk about reincarnation, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I believe that. I mean, there's like a lot of hoopla around like things like glossolalia and like speaking in tongues and stuff like that. But I think the idea of it is derived from something pretty realistic. Like in the film "Youth Without Youth" by Francis Ford Coppola, how they have he rescues. There's an earthquake, and Tim Roth, the main character, he rescues this woman from a cave that had, you know, she had gone into to seeking shelter during the storm. And when she comes out, she no longer remembers who she is, and she's speaking like, a dead language, like Egyptian and Sumerian and things like that. And, everyone just
based
like,
on a true story or something?
there's been rumors. I mean, it's like something like in folklore that you hear all the time. It's like, like Rip Van Winkle, It's kind of like the same thing in a way. Falling asleep and waking up, and then centuries have gone by, but almost it's a reverse effect. It's like the past is just really catching up with you, or you're in sync with it again. Like this person is talking about how they were once like this girl who was rescued from the cave. She's talking about how she was once like a queen and all these different things and all the different reincarnations of her. And there's like, a dominant one, I believe, that keeps like trying to, pretty much just take over, and like manifest itself in a way,
Uh-huh.
but it's more of just a personality, you know. But it's just an interesting idea that someone could actually, like that souls could cycle, like go through a cycle and then come back into a body after a certain amount of process.
Well, I'm sort of like a
I think.
Buddhist, and in Buddhism we have such thing as karma,
Mm-hmm.
which is a cause effect thing. That's all it is. Karma means action, so it's like everything that happens has causes.
There's ripples, waves.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like this present has a lot of many causes.
Mm-hmm.
This present causes many effects.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, and our body, it's a physical thing,
Mm-hmm.
but our mind is not.
Yeah.
You know, because the brain is not the mind. You know, you
Mhm.
take out a chunk of a brain, the mind is still there.
Yeah.
You know, so just like the body goes through causes, like time gets things aging. You know, like diseases. You know, you eat too much sugar, you get diabetes,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. The mind also goes by causes and effect. So if you get uh, angry a lot when you're a kid, you grow up to be an angry person, and then, you know, if you promote this anger, you'll get to be really angry, and then this anger will go into violence, and then you'll just, unless you put a stop to this,
Yeah.
it'll just
Progression.
progress.
Yeah.
So when person dies, the mind becomes liberated from the body, because we don't really have soul like soul. We have the mind.
Yeah.
So mind is free from the body, and the mind just goes also through karma, through karmic way. So it's like if the person was an angry, the person ends up as an angry mind without a body. So an angry mind is used to being in the body
Mm-hmm.
because it's known the body, right, and it loses the body. So the mind is looking to find a body that suits it. And by karma, if an angry mind wants
Isn't
to find a body, it'll go to hell.
is it the passage through the Bardo Thadal?
Yeah, Bardos.
The
Thrudol. Yeah,
yeah.
it's well, Bardo, Thrudol. That's like this kind of like advanced book. Like, I haven't read it. I don't really can tell you much about it. But it's Tibetan. It's one of the termas.
Well, they talk about how there's these different levels of. It's like yeah, it's like hell. It's like we were saying, like these different emotions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That you know.
We got the
And someone who's
wrathful and peaceful
yeah, like the
deities.
wrathful and all these different deities, and they kind of almost take their own, or after you die, they govern where you'll be and how you like
Well, they
kind
don't
of
really
rink.
govern where you'll be, because it's like when you die, first you encounter all the peaceful deities.
Yeah,
It's like all your good emotions, and
and
then
then
you'll
come the
encounter
bad
all their,
ones.
like angry ones. And if you have a peaceful mind, if you got a calm mind, then
You will not
you'll not be affected by
like resisting
neither
it.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah, neither them. That's where you can go. Then you can get to choose where you want to go. Otherwise, if you got a weak mind, you'll get angry, and you'll be thrown into hell, or you'll go to heaven. But
what do
yeah,
you think hell is?
what do I think it is? Not a nice place to be. Not a nice. Everything is a state of mind, and you know, what it burns. You don't like it.
Yeah,
Hell, it really burns. You really don't like it.
yeah,
When it's cold, like it's like really cold, and you're shivering, and you're like, I don't like this.
yeah.
In hell, that'll be really, really cold. You'll be really, really shivering. Yeah, it's like to be cut. It's like imagine being cut over and over and over and over. It's like, oh, heaven is like,
Do you think we'll embrace that? Because like those are different sensations. Do you think in the dying of the body, it will all go through those sensations? Uh, or it's really, I mean, that's you can't generalize everyone's own passage, but I think to a certain degree, if you were to just one were to naturally just die of old age, I think they would the conflict of the body, like
hmm?
deteriorating and stuff, and like all like the nervous system dying and breaking down, you know. So it's like I don't know if there would be. I mean, yeah, I guess in theory, like you can achieve. You could be like above the pain, in your
Yeah.
state of mind, but at the same time, it's like I think something that's gonna happen, regardless.
I saw this TV show it's talking about
Hmm.
being above the pain. It's about this. It's about some people with some super like different abilities, and it was
Yeah.
this Russian lady, right? She trained her mind not to feel pain. She would hit, hit, hit different things,
Yeah.
and and every time she would feel this impact of hitting, she would imagine herself being in a really nice and beautiful place. Like a paradise beach.
Hmm.
So she was like, and she would hit, and so whenever she would feel pain, she would imagine being in this beautiful place, and she would forget about the pain.
Hmm.
So it's like self hypnosis. And then when she broke her arm, she didn't even feel the pain, and the arm snapped in two or something, and
Yeah.
that was the whole thing.
Yeah. Separation between the body and mind can be weird.
There's this story about this Tibetan saint, Milarepa. Uh, he became enlightened and he started flying around and stuff in the 9th century or 10th century.
Flying around?
Yeah, yeah. He went through a lot of like his story is very interesting. First,
Like Chris Angel in Las Vegas, just like picking himself up and.
who? No,
Cri-
no, no,
no, like,
that's
no.
not magic.
Okay.
It's like he would be on the mountain and he would just jump off the mountain and soar through the sky. Yeah, it's supposedly when you become enlightened, you get all kinds of powers, and there's more powers. You know, it's like you can get super enlightened, and you can just you can just manifest yourself in different place,
Yeah.
or you can be in 2 places and 3 places at the same time.
Yeah.
Walk on water,
I think there was.
not get burned by fire, go to heaven,
Well, maybe because
go to hell.
right, and maybe because we're minds and not necessarily our bodies. You know, if the mind is something like a consciousness is something that is actually like more like ancient and something that's like, you know, from the past that like resurfaces, you know, if reincarnation is true.
Wow, this is my first call. I never had a call before. I don't know what to do. I'll just pick it up. Hello? What? Yeah, can you hear? Hold up a second. You gotta press something? Okay.
Now you can hang up.
I can hang up.
You can talk in here.
Hold up. Give me 1 second. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, how do I. Okay, let me
No.
take this. Yeah, hi. Hello? Can you hear me? Well, this is my first phone call, and I think I messed up because I didn't continue talking. You can call again. I'm just not sure how it all goes.
I like lost the caller.
Hello? Yeah, I lost the caller. So what do I do?
When she calls, just put this picks up, that hangs up.
Okay, press call,
Yep.
right?
And that hangs up. This
That
picks
hangs up. This picks
and you gotta
up.
bring it in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, is there another earphones for Matthew?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome.
So if she calls back,
I'm passing
Yeah.
it over.
yeah, maybe you want
Here, do you want to bring it back?
Right.
also that I would kind of go the opposite. This one is a little
Yeah.
easier. Just run it behind you.
Oh,
This
Okay.
one only has one ear that works,
Okay.
but it still works. So.
all right. Well, there goes my first phone call.
Yeah, there it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, this is you
Hello?
learn on your mistakes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear yourself?
I don't know.
I can see you talk. See, I don't.
It's working.
Yeah,
yeah.
because the green light. Like a
Ooh.
little bit.
That's good. It's working.
Yeah.
So, well, that's unfortunate.
Well, you know,
These things.
this book taught me that accept things as they are. Not just this book, but this book's like keeps talking that whatever you do something, don't expect the result. Just do it for the action, because then it's like when you do it without expectancy,
Yeah.
then you're doing the non-action too, because it's like action and non-action.
Yeah.
So it's about renunciation of action, and the true renunciation of action is actually doing things, but not caring whether you're gonna be good or bad. Like the result is gonna be positive or negative.
Yeah.
It's about just being instead of doing. But being, it's like
Yeah.
because you cannot just stop and not do, because whatever you do, you're still gonna do. If you're just gonna sit there and not do and observe, you're still observing. If you blank out and like go into nothing, you're still going into nothing. You're still aware of nothing. There's this like highest Buddhist heaven,
Yeah.
and it's non there's form heavens and non-form heavens. So and there's like the highest one, and there's nothing there. There's still you, because there's still the essence of the mind,
Yeah.
but there's nothing happens. There's no form. There's no sight. There's no sound. There's nothing, and it's there for a couple of eons.
Yeah.
Because it's like the highest heaven.
Yeah.
So it's like you get there to be a long, long time. And then you die and go to hell. Because you spend all this time not doing anything. It's like, it was like you're not productive, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they say the best thing to go is to uh, go back to Earth if you die, or you go to Pure Land, or you become a Buddha. Or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's all just a way of putting it. It's one perspective. And I think I don't know. I think I love about like the old Buddhist literature is just how poetic it is. I don't know, just line for line. You can just like really meditate on every little sentence and everything like that. It's just like allows that. And it's like almost like words almost to be sung or like, hummed and stuff like that. Kind of like the mantras and stuff like that. They have like a good rhythm and stuff to them. And I think that's that it's like echolocation. If you're able to do that, like understand the amount of rhythm and vibration and you know like embrace that, and it helps you, I think, become more of what most people would want to be,
Back in the
whether or not
days,
it's
there was no-
clear-headed or happy, more at peace, like inner peace.
Well, when you're busy doing something, you don't really think about the outside world.
Yeah,
If you
it's like
get really
tunnel.
into
It's
a
like
good
tunnel vision.
vision.
Uh huh.
It's hard for us to focus our minds, but when we watch a good movie, we're really there. Or read a good book. I remember I found this book in 10th grade. What's it called? Shogun. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, but
There's-
I'm not
there's a
too familiar.
mini-series.
Yeah, yeah.
Too. It's about this British sailor who ended up in medieval Japan. Well, he was also, it was like in 16th century, and the ship got into.
It's like the Last Samurai with Tom
Yeah,
Cruise.
yeah, it's like
kinda
that
thing.
samurai. Only it's more older,
Yeah.
and it's more authentic. I don't know about the movie actually, like how authentic it is, The Last Samurai, but
Mm-hmm.
that one it was not about the last samurai, it was about like samurai period,
Mhm.
it was like Shogun. And when I started reading the book, and the book is like the big 1200-page book, I read it in a couple of days. I just picked the book up and I could not put it down. It was so good, and I haven't read anything like that since. Yeah, when we were young, we read a lot.
Yeah,
At least
I
I
mean,
did. I read more
think-
nowadays.
The last major book I read was The Savage Detectives by Roberto Boiano. It's pretty good.
Savage Detective.
I mean, it's not pretty good. It was fantastic, really. But I'm a big fan of like the beat movement and stuff like that, and uh, he's kind of a Latin American writer of that sort of genre, if you could even call it that. More of like his extended family of those, like a Ginsberg and Kerouacian thinkers and stuff like that. But it's just an epic book on like poetry and love and madness, pretty much, and about these like wandering writers and poets and stuff, and kind of some crime. I think the first book's called Mexicans Lost in Mexico.
Yeah. I still have to read Dharma Bums.
Yeah, that's
I borrowed it from Mark Borchardt, and I said, Mark, oh, I really want to read this book. Let me borrow this. So he let me borrow it, and he says, see this? This is like the original copy. Please don't lose it. You know, like give it back as soon as you read it. And I said, yes, Mark. And then I put it up someplace, and I don't know where it's at. Shh. If you see Mark, don't tell him. But I got it somewhere in the house. I
Yeah.
gotta read that book.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Yeah, this my mission.
Hey, did you
Oh,
see
yeah.
like Viggo Mortensen is
Hmm?
Viggo Mortensen? He's plays Jack Kerouac in I think the Walter Salles film of On the Road. I think that's supposed to be coming out soon, probably this summer. They made On the Road a film, yeah.
Jack Cossack. There's a movie about him.
Yeah, and well, it's about his famous book. I think it's produced by Francis Ford Coppola.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to that. I just saw what's the name
That's
of the
a-
movie? That that movie was Jack. No, not Jack. What's his name? Johnny Depp was playing in it. Fear and Loathing
The
in
Rum
Seattle.
Diaries, based on the Hunter S. Thompson book.
Yeah, Hunter Thompson book.
Yeah.
There's a movie about Hunter Thompson.
Rum Diaries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Diaries. Oh, what a
Bruce Robinson.
Yeah. I got like I'll
Directed
give it
it.
a C.
The sea. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
I
I'll give it
expected
a.
more.
I'll give it a. I have no ambition to go and see that film. Like,
Yeah, I didn't like that.
it just seems like a laugh, and that's all it's probably good for. It's just
It wasn't even funny.
yeah.
It was kind of like dull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going through what was it? I was just reading through a Hunter S. Thompson book the other day, and I really like the way he quotes things and stuff like that. Like he'll tell his story and stuff, but he'll use quotes to kind of like, emphasize his points and
Quotes,
kind of-
what kind of quotes?
like he'll quote like CIA conversations down in like the Havana and stuff like that from like the 60s or
Oh, those are fake quotes.
yeah, well, depends on how you look at it. I mean,
Yeah.
he
Well, he
is a
he
man
was
of
around.
letters, and he did get around, and he was
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
campaign trail.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think his journalistic reporting, and it was just for the fact that he was there for most things.
No,
And,
it's good
and he
to
was a
know
well-educated
what's really going
man.
on behind
Eh,
closed doors.
He uses knowledge as a tool and like even as a weapon, because it's like those are the kind of people that are that he felt he was up against. They're just like just like savage dogs, pretty much people that were just as ruthless as like those things that are infringing us.
Yeah, well,
And they're just
I talk to people about 9/11, and they're like, oh, who could do such a thing? It's like people would not make this stuff happen, because
Like,
conspiracy or whatever.
yeah, you're talking about like if
Yeah, and
it was
I'm
an
like,
inside job,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, and I'm like, there's people out there who have no conscience.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's
They got their agendas, and I don't know what they are. Nobody does except for them.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a, I mean, even that is such a broad and such an elaborate thing to even go into. It's like we probably would never really know the truth. There's only
No,
like that
the truth
person.
is, hey
Oh, it'll
man,
come out.
you know, I'm a science type of a person. To me, science is boss.
Yeah.
If the science says the building was blown up, I go with the science.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why it was blown up. I don't know. Well, you know, I don't know who did it, but I know it was blown up just because science says so. It's like, you know, if you're gonna go by pseudoscience, I don't buy that. I don't buy pseudoscience. You know, like, you know, making things happen, just making things up as because you want.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that.
Just to emphasize what you think. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't, you know, because people they start believing their thoughts. And that's where things go wrong. Oh, gee, I really wanted to talk to a caller. Please call back. Whoever. I mean, I don't even know the number. Oh yeah, there go. 935-2951. Please call. Because this is my first call. I didn't even know
Yeah, it's a
this
shame
thing
we
was
lost
on.
him. Missed it.
Yeah, it was been
But
interesting.
there'll be more.
I'm surprised people actually are listening to me.
Well, it's
Yeah, because you know
it's a good day to turn on the radio and just sit out on the porch and just kind of taking that breeze and all the fragrances of the flowers.
I can't wait till it goes FM. The stuff goes FM, it's gonna be on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a few months.
Nice.
Yeah, because this, you know, this thing was supposed to go FM, because they made the new law
Yeah.
that allowed community radios to broadcast without much interference by the government.
Mm-hmm.
Because before you had to go through a whole lot of drama and money to get something going, but
Now it's changed.
now it has changed, yeah. And you know, I'm into movies. I make movies sometimes when I'm not lazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's a lot of people into movies up here. After all, this is a video store. Um, it's like the gym is to make this a video studio, like a studio, man. Maybe to make TV shows. You know, and if there's gonna be a budget, there'll be like another Meta, only maybe a better quality Meta
Yeah.
and more direct.
Yeah. There would be more of like brackets and stuff like that, and like who's gonna be like almost in the same way like MSC would operate, and how they have people booked for different shows and certain hours of the day and stuff, something like that. Is that what you mean?
I don't know what I mean. I'm just thinking out loud, but my thoughts are kind of small. You know, it's like I have a thought, and then that's where it ends. I don't need to go into how growing a big tree out of something. It's like, oh well when it'll start happening, it will happen, and until then, let's just start at one step. So I think about one step, and I don't need to think about the second step. You know, until it's time. Kind of that's the way I started working lately.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's good because it reduces a lot of the anxiety I think you would have to deal with otherwise.
Yeah, that's what meditation taught me. Um, to walk one step at a time. It was painful. It was boring, but I went to a few retreats, which is you get away from the world, and you just meditate a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and there's nothing to do but sit there, and you work with your mind about dropping, working with your inner desires, inner mind, and I don't know. Mm. I kind of wish to be thinking sometimes like a lot, and it's like, oh, it'd be nice, but I don't know. Lately, I've been kind of mostly just observant.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like working so many jobs, my body will, it's almost as if my body is scheduled for these tasks, you know, these things I'm supposed to perform and do, as where my mind is can be elsewhere if I choose to. It's like you can focus on the work to a certain degree, but you can also, if you have familiarity with it, sit back and kind of contemplate like where you want to go or what you're doing, what you would like to think about. Like if I'm working on a story, you know, and I'll think about these characters, you know, how do I do character development?
Are you a writer?
Yeah, I like to write, yeah. You know, so you like sit back and you think about these things. Oh, how can I make that realistic? What would that person do? You know, oh, why would they do that? How would they feel? You know, how were they raised? You know, what their concerns are, whether they're not good or bad. You know, you just try to like make it thick, make it like tactful and stuff.
Yeah. So you got a gift. It's a gift I call, you know.
To
'Cause,
write.
yeah, it's alright. I've never had that gift before, except nowadays I'm catch myself thinking like what you're talking about. I catch myself, you know, looking at people, and my mind kind of making those stories up. It's like I'm just starting. It's just starting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to put it to words yet.
Yeah, it's just like this what blossoms in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let me tell you this: I do make films.
Mm-hmm.
I have a few music videos on YouTube, and I got a few documentaries on my computer.
Okay.
But I really want to make this film called Gibberless Stories. You know, it's kind of like Pulp Fiction,
Yeah.
except without much violence.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not about exploitation. Or maybe a little bit exploitation of
Character.
characters. Yeah, arts
Yeah.
and music. You know, but a bunch of stories interwoven. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of movies like that, but
No, I
It's
think
not a
it's
movie
a
studio,
matter of
it's-
you just have to, you know, you have to do it because what you're doing itself is very original, and you're the only one doing it. It's you.
that's
it's
the
something-
thing.
that's something you've
I
never
wanted
done.
to make a I want it to be a community.
No, yeah, no, certainly,
So
but it's also
if
an
you want to help
artifact, yeah.
out, man, I'll email you, man. And
Yeah, you got my info, so
yeah.
send me a message. I would love to sit down and character do any kind of development, not even designing a character, but if you want me to talk about life, I can do that. It could happen.
Yeah, maybe we can do it even online. I mean, like on the air.
Yeah.
Let's see what time it is.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna probably head out.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm gonna be on my day.
Hey, man. You mind filling in for me for 5 minutes? I'm gonna go get me some tea.
Alright, what do you want me to do?
I'll talk about whatever.
Talk about life.
Yeah. Sing a song.
Oh man.
Okay, I'm gonna go get me some tea.
I guess I
And
could
I
try
don't want to
to.
leave the dead air.
I could try to. Yeah, I'll try to figure this out.
Okay, cool. Right on. And if someone calls, I guess you press the call, and you get the earphones on, and you can talk. All right.
All right, so I guess I'm just gonna sit here and read from my pocketbook since I don't really have anything else to mind. If you want to call, it's 935-2951, but I'm not really sure how to answer the phones. So yeah. Strange Days in River West. Well, I used to write a lot more than this, though it's not a manner of negligence I've presented to this material. The nation has been catapulted into a sort of neo-confederacy with stockholders running smaller operations and operatives of social enterprise, and the ones who took the reins of the nation some hundreds of years back, while generations and generations of bloodlines and company types are at stake. This is some random notes. Let's see, we'll back it up a few. Yeah, I don't know. All this stuff is so very scene specific and of these times. Travelogue shines above suspicious fruit disco as I attempt to jot down memories from my frantic last week. Now it's just yellow-colored interiors, like the yielding guidance of traffic lights. I have trouble in fitting in the context of the yield bar, where all the freshmen and sophomore children hear their social words for the hip scene of culture, every and any kind. Like I said, they're some voodoo, some straight up voodoo in these words. Places inside. Let's see.
Are we quiet?
Oh, it's quiet. I can't find anything quite right to read.
No.
Without here at 3 a.m., nothing like the whole. She makes me perplex things, but I still think she makes me call it in this world. And we, as Twain puts it, where did I get this we from? Blasphemy, an orangish vision of spores and calls of flesh that busts. We all burst, don't we? Yeah, yes, we do. Stare straight into space. As all but ourselves absorbs us. That's why there's a submersion in the detachment of space in this mind to textualize fabric. It places inside things which are stored. He places himself inside things and is stored, preserving himself in lightness, a reaction within a darkness, a stillness that's there, the submersion and waves ripple, things like that. Things, just madness and things.
Madness. It's a mad world we're living in. You ever done? You ever went to poetry nights, open poetry nights, someplace here?
Yeah, I think I've done it at Linneman's Pub. I've done some reading at the Laundry Chute and the Cream City Collective.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've done some readings and stuff. I don't know. It's not something that I specialize. I'm a very terrible public speaker, I think, by most standards.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, it's true. You have to sharpen the tool.
You seen Mario?
Mario.
The poet?
I don't
big
know.
Black guy. It's big.
Yeah, I think I remember I've seen Mario at Lindeman's, I think.
Yeah, he's one of the most emotional guys out there, isn't it? Yeah, he's got a big stage presence. But then again, maybe that's his character. Ah, you're an artist too. You draw jellyfish.
Oh yeah, it's like some kind of fish thing. He's like wearing a hat. It's like the dude's eyes there.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are just crazy.
Half
It's a-
crazy. Half
Well, yeah,
silly.
it makes sense, but it's just out of context. Everything is just so out of context. It's, you know, it makes no sense looking at it.
You know, if you sit down by yourself for 1 hour and just sit there,
Fruit this
okay? If you sit there for 1 hour, you know, not on the top, you sit there with a straight spine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't close your eyes. You kind of like look downwards and hold your tongue on the upper palate behind your teeth. And just sit there and you sit and you watch what's going on in your mind. You just sit there for 1 hour. It's kind of a long time. But when you get up, write something down, man. You'll be surprised what you write down. Because it'll be different from what you wrote before.
Yeah, I was trying to get back into the habit of, because I used to keep these pocketbooks. This is one I've had for a while. It says end of August 2010. So I wrote about. You can see where the pens.
paintings.
Oh, there's some
What is this?
just
Oh, this is nice.
illustrations.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if we can even show them. There's like a chair. These couches. These are some characters.
I'm gonna show it. You can see.
If you can
No,
see.
it's somewhat.
Yeah.
Well, this is how it starts, man. I never painted, I never drew nothing, but going to Linneman's on Mondays, you know, you sit there, you listen to poetry, and I started doodling a little bit. And at first, it was really, like, I don't know, really childish. But the more I practiced, the better I got at it. And I'm not gonna say I'm as good as you now, but I'm better, much better than I was. Practice does make perfect.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something you have to sharpen.
I got this book. It says learn how to draw in 30 easy lessons. I'm on lesson number 2. I've been there for already a year.
I think there's just something here I might read.
Go for it.
Here's the shoes. Hold on, give me a moment. Say something for a minute. Let me go over this. Make sure.
Human didgeridoo.
Okay, so here's something I wrote. It's like a loose, and I'm probably just gonna dawdle off, but it says, okay, the decision, and it's the debate in a room while two people play a live action game online where there are a military crew going into communities and armed to the teeth and assaulting whoever is attacking them. So it goes back to our conflict, but it's the contrast is on TV. They're going into these slums and they're shooting all these like soldiers and stuff like that. But it's really just two kids having a conversation, online, be it two friends. But in the backdrop, this is going on. These two kids playing this video game and holding this conversation. And we walk over debates. She was calm, but I didn't know her. Perhaps if we were acquainted, she'd be nervous. I have no health to reply to her kindness. She wafted the smoke to her face, as if to repel its sweet odor from the abyss of the room. It's easy to get lightheaded. My day usually doesn't allow me to slip away, so these extracurricular thoughts have sort of infected my day. It's the thing of romances, of ambition asserting who you want to be in a tribe. You want to belong? What did she tell you? He persisted. becoming increasingly violent, pushing me around the room. Don't write from your personal experiences. It's hard, but I've tried to branch out into others' beliefs. Don't try, just experience. What you need to what you need to get is to the emotive. That's what you want. It's not properly used. What's that? Emotive. I mean, I know what you mean, but that's not the way. That's not the right way to use the term. I mean, emotional motives. But yes, it goes on and goes on. Uh,
Yeah, I can sell it to you for $5.
yeah,
Tell you what, so if you take one, it would be
some interesting stuff.
$45.
Oh wow, thank you.
Okay.
It's like I vaguely remember writing that, but it just goes. You just have these images, like we were saying. You can see a person and almost imagine these certain things and stuff, and like characteristics, traits, and you know, without them telling you and talking to you and having an interaction, your mind blossoms almost like its own story for them, you know. And it's like. I remember having that image in my mind of like the characters, the way I refined it and telling you. I remember having these characters sitting in a room and just being really intrigued by that kind of that dimension of calm, but it's like a really violent calm, because they're sitting in a quiet room and maybe the TV isn't up all the way, but there's a constant machine gun fire, kind of lulled down in the background, while he's talking and having this kind of narrative. And it's humorous, it's confident, it's all these different things, but it's at the same time frightening. It's like I guess it's in a certain degree no more frightening than throwing more and more lumber on a fire. You know?
Somewhat. I can envision it. Like what I see is just like a ball with bunch of knives sticking out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like pulsating, because it's one ball. It's like one solid ball. It doesn't just go like woo woo woo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it has like some kind of aggression in it. But it's still like it's solid. It doesn't like spread open. It's like it doesn't. But
It's like
it wants to get out, but it's not. Doesn't. It's
like Phantasm. That's what I imagine in the movie Phantasm. Have you ever seen that? Yeah, like the ball with the blade or like the eye. It's like moving around, but that's kind of on an off subject. But yeah, these. I think as far as like the conflict in that imagery goes, I mean it's definitely derived out of something real, like something substantial, some kind of something that occurred during my day-to-day interface. Something is obviously stirring me about it, you know. And maybe it's just it's just like the beauty of painting a picture, and you'd be like, oh, you're moved one way or another. You're like, well, I don't really like this like gray pink kind of hue. I kind of wanted more orange and more pastel, more of a creamy color, So you like move towards that like pastel kind of style, but it's at the same time, and people create these kind of stories, but there's the real story, like the fact, the science, the story, agreed or not? Because in a matter of, is a consciousness there if a person isn't there, if a body isn't there? Say like ghosts. Do you think there's energy and aura? Yeah. Art and life. That's the topic of today.
Actually, that's the topic of every day.
Art and life.
Inside life, is nothing but art. Inside art is nothing but life.
I imagine. Have you seen the movie Beautiful?
haven't heard of it.
Beautiful.
B I
Beautiful.
beautiful. Be
Yeah, that's how it's by Inarritu.
Is it new?
Came out like a year or two ago.
I
It's got
haven't heard of it.
Javier Bardem
One of those art films.
in a way.
Can't go into main.
Yeah, no, it did. It did. Well, yeah, no, I guess it's more art house. I went to the festivals. Had a good run at all the festivals, and
Mhm.
I think it played at the Oriental here in Milwaukee.
Mhm.
But Bardem's character is on the edge of kind of life and death the whole like kind of throughout the whole film, and he sees ghosts and these remnants of the deceased and stuff, and he makes amends between the dead and the living because he can go between like the both worlds, but it's not overdone, it's not overplayed in this, like, by no means like what the film is about. It's more of about how he deals with all these conflict. The whole film is about trying to almost keep life beautiful rather than picking up on and just I think letting the worst get the best of you.
Yeah, that's usually how it is. Cause can't get away from the bad stuff, but can't we should not let the bad stuff get to us,
No matter how bad it is.
no matter how bad it is. Cause it can get pretty bad.
Shit, we know.
Sometimes comes down. It's a downward spiral. But if
So
you screw it up
how often do you do this, Chili?
every week, 3:30 to 6
On Tuesdays?
on Tuesdays.
3:30 to 6. Nice. Maybe I'll stop by next week when I come to get more film.
I'll have River Water Tribe up here. Hopefully, they were supposed to come
Playing
here
some
today.
music?
There was
Playing some music?
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, playing some music, talking about their stories, their travels. Jacob, is the main guy. He always goes around traveling. And I'm pretty sure he got some stories. I don't know how much of those stories he can talk about on the air.
I
or
know.
he'll
I had
be
to
willing
govern myself today. I said, well, I don't know if I should talk about certain things.
It's really up to you. You can talk about anything.
Well,
Like me, I have no restrictions.
but yes,
But I'm pretty sure you don't wanna say something
certain
incriminating.
things.
You know.
Well, naturally, never.
Never. Because you don't do nothing. It's
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's like there's nothing. There's nothing to incriminate about. Say. But I
But
talk about
it's-
pot sometimes.
It's all. Yeah. I mean, it's an American topic. One of the greatest American topics.
Yeah,
it's-
forefathers of this country, they really loved it. They made the
And-
constitution on it.
Money. It's just big business that shut it down, pretty much.
Yeah.
And they're still making big business out of it.
It's the biggest one in America.
Culture, yeah. Black market trade,
Yeah,
the biggest.
the biggest.
Biggest
Yeah. What you call? Economy.
economic.
Yeah.
Well, sir,
Alright, well, let's go beat you. Matthew, you got a pen?
I do.
Yeah, let me write down your name and last name, and then I can put you up here. Cause, I'll put this in my pocket, and in 3 days, when I have to write you a letter, I'll forget your name.
Okay.
Like,
Yes.
So Mathe
EW
W
CZ
C C
ARNE CKI. So CZAR.
Sarnecki.
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right. You don't mind if I put you up here, because then people, if you look for Matthew Sarnecki,
No.
they'll find you.
No, that's
Oh,
fine. It's two
okay.
T's, but that's
Where?
it, man.
Matthew.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's good talking. It's very enlightening conversation. It's nice to branch out and to kind of see where other people are coming from on these certain issues, because these are things that I keep in the back of my mind, and think about it, like reincarnation. I think about death and things like that a lot. And because it substantially makes life more valuable to me to know that
That's
we
what
can
I
be
feel.
that we can be it can be taken away from us.
Right. Yeah. Knowing
So
that you can die at any moment makes you live it to the
a little more
fullest.
aware
Not
and
fullest, but yeah,
yeah. You-
aware of what's going on.
well,
It was
sir,
good meeting you. And see you.
it's a pleasure.
again.
It's a pleasure being on. I hope
Yeah.
I hope you
um,
have some more interesting people walk in to your show. You need a
People walk
li-
on the street up and down.
It's like
I
a
tell
life
come
raft.
by. Sometimes they do.
They say, "Hey, come on, get into the boat.
Yeah.
Come on, the water is fine."
Yeah, yeah. Otherwise, it's Bafat guitar. That's always interesting.
Yeah.
I've gotten through half of the fifth chapter now.
Well,
Yeah. It's,
I'm gonna have to check that out some more.
yeah. Be my guest. Don't get the one with the commentaries.
Okay.
Because the commentaries will tell you what you're supposed to think.
Right.
Get the one without commentaries.
And just
then you
read
can,
it.
Yeah, and then you
You
can
make
get
your
one
own.
with the commentaries, because then you can see what other people say.
Yeah.
Because Hare Krishnas, they really emphasize this, and I like Hare Krishnas. They're nice people, but they also tend to see things from the Hare Krishna point of perspective. And it's kind of secular,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like close-minded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look at this from a Buddhist point of perspective. It's a little different.
Yeah. Wonderful, man.
All right, man.
I will squeeze by you.
Yeah.
Move over a little bit to get some callers in here. I shout out the number, but I think they were reluctant. I don't know if they're there.
Yeah, it was nice that at least someone called. All right. Matthew Snarnecki, man of our town, an artist, a writer, a printmaker, a cook, and a chef, and man you want to get to know. So, where was I? When I first began the show, I was talking about nothing important, and I'm still gonna talk about nothing too important. Like, a few days ago we had Locust Fest. That was nice. Usually I go to Locust Fest and see some faces that I haven't seen in years. And that's what happened this Sunday. It was quite enjoyable. So I saw the people I see every other Locust Fest, and then I don't get to see them again until the next year. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go back to the book. The Bhagavad Gita. It's a book that, according to some folks, have been written 5,000 years ago, but according to the back of the copy that I got, it was written in the first century AD. So we have a different points of view on this. To me personally, I'll go with the second view because I don't believe in divine revelations like that. I mean, I believe in divine revelations, but I still believe that everything is written by people, human beings, and this passage up here, for example, uh, in this reading, uh, actually, this is where I was reading it last week or 2 weeks ago, because last week I didn't get to read this. It's in the fifth teaching on the renunciation of action, and the verse's number uh, is 18. Okay, and that's where I'll start. Learned men see with an equal eye a scholarly and a dignified priest, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and even an outcast scavenger. So here's my thoughts about this passage. Um, well, learned man means, I guess, uh, people who know, the know something that's transcendental, know the divine. So they see with an equal eye. So they see things equanimously. Uh, a scholarly and dignified priest, like all those pompous priests that we get to see in our churches, they making a big thing out of themselves. And the cow and the elephant, a dog. So it means that uh, a priest and a dog is the same thing, basically. Or they're not the same thing. They're completely different. But for a man of wisdom, hi, uh, man of wisdom, they see them equanimously. They don't see that, oh, this is a priest and that is just a lowly dog. But here in the last line it says, and even an outcast scavenger. So my thing about this last line is that, first of all, it says and even. So, and second of all, it says an outcast scavenger. So that means that this has already been written after there has been a caste system implemented in India, which is kind of like a birth of the caste system. And caste system is devised by Aryan was devised by Aryan invaders of India, because India was pretty dark-skinned country. People were dark-skinned, and people from up north were light-skinned, and then invaded, and they took over. And of course, they made themselves to be rulers. They're like the overlords, and the uh, other ones were, the shit sweepers, the slaves and stuff like that. So the caste system is really more of a race system, because it has the really black people, like dark black people, who are considered to be outcasts, and then it has like lighter skinned people, which are um, the workers, and the even lighter skinned people, who are the businessmen, and the white skinned people, who are the Brahmins. They're like the priest and the dignified scholarly folk. So he says, oh, learned people, up here in the book, it says learned people, they see it all as, you see what you see, and you don't give a preference to one over another. This way you get to see things as they are. But it does say that, it has a line that says, and even an outcast scavenger. So this book has been written after there has already been a caste system implemented. And because it says even, it does emphasize that these outcast scavengers are kind of like outcasts. They're untouchables in the caste system. So it's kind of shifty. It's kind of shady. I personally I'm not too fond of. well, it's not like I'm not fond of anything because there's nothing here I can say I'm not too fond of, but it's just, it's peculiar to me. So, onward though, men who master the worldly world have equanimity. They exist in the infinite spirit in its flawless equilibrium. Hmm. So, man, like folks who get to know the way things work in the world, the way things are, they have peace of mind, they have contentment, and they see the world in a in a straight view. They don't give preference to scholarly priests over the dirty scavengers, because, well, people are people, beings are beings. A scholarly priest, like a rich man can get broke and get, go through divorce, and his wife would take all his money and end up there picking up garbage, going to garbage trying to find a piece of food, and a bum can find I don't know, a diamond necklace and get a reward of $1 million for it and become a rich man. So never can't really judge things by appearances. He should not rejoice in what he loves, nor recoil from what disgusts him. Secure in understanding, undiluted, knowing the infinite spirit, he abides in it. Huh? Let's do it again. He should not rejoice in what he loves, nor recoil from what disgusts him. Secure in understanding, undiluted, knowing the infinite spirit, he abides in it. So, the man of wisdom should not be, should not go lose his mind over his likes. It's like, um, I don't know, if you are hungry and you find a nice piece of meal, you should not go super duper happy about finding this meal. You should just eat it and be satisfied and happy. Or if you are you don't if you walk around and you step on a dog poop, you know you should not be totally lose your mind over it. You just uh, clean your foot up, clean your boot up, and go on your merry business, and not mind too much things that happen. And when you get to this state of mind, you should abide in it. It should not be. You should just treat life as life is, because that's what it is. Detached from external contacts, he discovers joy in himself. Joined by discipline to the infinite spirit, the self attains inexhaustible joy. So, when you are not really concerned with what's going on outside, what's going on with the world, you're not really when you're not really attached to the world, when you uh, get to know this 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 open sky of a space inside your heart and mind, You get really you get joy that doesn't stop because the world is full of this emptiness, this empty space. It's not like nothingness. It's more like emptiness. It's just freedom, freedom of thought. Because what happens is that things, your appearances, sounds, they come into the space, which is your mind, which is the infinite spirit. Because the mind by itself doesn't really have any colors. The colors are caused by karma, and karma goes way back and it doesn't stop. But mm, yeah, delights from external objects are worms of suffering. In their beginning is their end, and no wise man delights in them. And that is, if you, that means that if you, let's say, like ice cream and you start eating ice cream, you're like, what's delicious ice cream. From the moment that you start eating ice cream, you're already giving birth to the pain of eating ice cream up, and then there won't be any no more ice cream, and you guys will go like, oh, no more ice cream, or you eat too much ice cream and your belly will get full and you'll get hurt, and you will be like, oh, my belly hurts. So from the beginning of getting attached to external objects, which is everything that's outside of self, you're already giving birth to the to pain of loss or pain of some kind of a, well, giving birth to pain, because all good things end. Nothing is eternal except for that which is unborn, because what is not born cannot die, and what is born shall die eventually. um, I will die, you will die, this earth, it will also die, sun will die, universe will eventually die as well. Yep, death is just a part of life. It's is what it is. A man able to endure the force of desire and anger before giving up his body is disciplined and joyful. So when you get these feelings of desire or aversion, you if you can withstand it, if you don't react towards it, then means that you get discipline. You're disciplined, and out of this discipline arises this joy, which is just joyful. It's nice to be able to feel that you are that you got will. It's like strength of will. It's like you've got power. You got power over yourself, which is the greatest power there is. A man of discipline has joy, delight, and light within. Becoming the infinite spirit, he finds the pure calm of infinity. So when you get this discipline to not react towards your desires or aversions, you light up. You light up. you began the a light inside your soul lights up, and uh, you start joining with this emptiness, which is infinite spirit, which is infinity. Because emptiness that is there, so it's a spirit. It's alive. It's just it doesn't have any borders. That's what makes it open. and makes it infinite. So in this openness, you you find peace, and seers who can destroy their sins, cut through doubt, master the self, and delight in the good of all creatures, attain the pure calm of infinity. And those people who are not shallow, who like to look inside of things, who got a little deeper, who got a deeper vision than what most of the media shows to us. Because if you go by the media, you only see what's on the outside. You don't get to see what's inside. You gotta have an inquisitive mind to see inside. So when you start looking within deeper, you burn your karma, and you get free from your habitual patterns, which will enable you to transcend your fears and doubts and ignorances, and it will enable you to gain more control of yourself, of your mind and body, and that will get you love, love towards people, love towards animals, love towards bugs and ghosts and demons too, and gods, just all creatures, all beings. Because you'll start seeing that we're all we're all just beings. We all have the same emptiness within us. We're all it's like, in words of the Bible, we're all children of God. When you see another child of God, you're just like, oh, that's my brother, oh, that's my sister. How can you get, seeing humanity as brotherhood and sisterhood is wonderful, but it's not just concerned humanity, it concerns all creatures. Because your doggy, that's your little sister or brother. I have a doggy, that's my little sister, I love her. But that's just that my doggy is like, oh, I love my little sister. Like, I see a stray dog, oh, here is here's some food, eat, be happy. It's like, yeah. Mhm. The pure calm of infinity exists for an ascetic who disarms desire and anger, controls reason, and knows the self. So when people get get to work with their desires and aversions, when they actually, no, that's not right. This passage says that when you get to know this empty space, this infinity, this empty space of the soul, uh, then through that emptiness, through that knowledge of the great spirit, your angers, your hates, your aversions, your desires, your possessiveness, they melt. They go. They were there before, and then they get smaller and smaller until they go away, and that enables a person to think coherently and know who they are, know the self. He shuns external objects, fixes his gaze between his brows, and regulates his vital breaths as they pass through his nostrils. So the person, no, I think this is like a meditation instruction. So the first, if you get to this, if you start controlling yourself, it says you gotta kind of block out external objects, put your eyes, put your gaze between your brows, and I think it. I'm not sure if it talks about your pupils, your eyes. I think it has to deal with your mind. You put your awareness between your brows, which is the seat of the third eye, and you gotta uh, regulate your vital breaths um, as they pass through your nostrils. I'm not exactly sure what the vital breaths are. Might have to do some research on this for my own self, because. But I think vital breaths is just. Cause see, I know what breaths mean. I'm not sure what the vital in this context mean. But I think it's just ordinary breath. You breathe through your nostrils, so you don't breathe with your mouth, and you sense your breath in your dantian, which is your like three fingers between your belly, three finger width under your belly button, 3/10 in. That's where your energy chakra is. This is what enables you to uh, get energy, to regulate energy. All energy passes through this energy center, and it's like a big kettle, and your mind is the master, the alchemist, and you as the alchemist, you can move the energy around. So, so this technique, I guess, to just put your attention between your eyebrows and breathe through your nostril. Truly free is a sage who controls his senses, mind, and understanding, who focuses on freedom and dispels desire, fear, and anger. So when you get to this control, when you start controlling yourself, you control your mind, you can eliminate your desires and fears and angers. You liberate yourself from mental slavery, where only you can yourself can free your mind. And here, this is Krishna talking. So he says, "Knowing me as the enjoyer of sacrifices and penances, Lord of all worlds, and friend of all creatures, he finds peace." Um, See, this is where I get a little lost, and Hare Krishnas they get a little gain, because this is Krishna talking. He says, "Knowing me as the enjoyer of sacrifices and penances." Uh, Apparently, then something happens, and you get to know Krishna, uh, who is the master of everything. Yeah, well, this is apparently when you get to this stage, you get to know Krishna and know peace. I personally am a little lost for this because I don't, Hare Krishnas they got a big story for this, but me, who is not a Hare Krishna, who's a friend of Hare Krishna's, but I'm not a devotee. I'm more of a scholar and meditator and somewhat of a yogi. But I see Krishna as and God. I see Krishna as God, and God I see as Buddha, and Buddha I see as emptiness, and emptiness I see as self and no self, as transcendent state of things as they are. So, but I suppose the world has a personality, and everything has a personality, and if you take this personality and ascribe it to a being, it would be Krishna. Well, it all makes sense. So I guess when you become free from all the karma, you become one with Krishna. That's how you get to know Krishna. Because you cannot know Krishna until you know Krishna, and you can only know Krishna through becoming one with Krishna. And becoming one with the world is becoming one with Krishna. Or in Buddhist terms, would be attainment of Buddhahood. Thus ends the 5th chapter, or the 5th teaching, which is called Renunciation of Action. And right now it's 6 p.m. and my time is here is done. And so I'll say Edouard, mon amis. I think amis is a plural, but I'm not sure. I'm trying to be French. I got an F in French. So maybe I should learn a little bit, because I like French. French is a good language. It's poetical. It flows. It's good. We had a good surprise today. Matthew, he stopped by and enlightened us with his thoughts coming from his world, which is our world, and his thoughts are my thoughts, and my thoughts are your thoughts, and we also had a phone call from somebody who I guess did not want to continue the conversation, but maybe we'll get a phone call next time. I'm always down with phone calls, and because it was my first phone call, I had no idea what to do, and Xav helped me, but it was too late, I guess. So please call. 935-2951 is the number, and I am Chili Chill. You can write me at CHILICHILL at mail.ru. Peace out.